Join Bob Kolazarik as he welcomes a diverse array of guests to the enlightening talk show, Greetings from the Ashram. In each episode, Bob sits down with experts and practitioners from the world of complementary healing modalities, spirituality, and holistic wellness to delve into the transformative power of these practices. From ancient traditions to cutting-edge therapies, Greetings from the Ashram offers viewers an insightful and uplifting journey into the realms of mind, body, and spirit. So now, please welcome your host, Bob Kolazarik.
Hello, everyone. Namaste and welcome. I am Bob Kolazarik, and you are watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Thanks for tuning in. I'm really excited about the show tonight. Our show title is Discover Your Purpose and Plan with Evita Myriam. Now, Evita is an expert Arithmosopher. I've been really practicing saying that word a lot. She's a Pranic healer and Arhatic Yogi. She was born in Athens, Greece, but has lived in many countries and cities in Europe and the United States. She guides people to find their purpose and heal all aspects of their lives through Arithmosophy, Pranic Psychotherapy, Pranic Advanced and Crystal Healings, Pranic Feng Shui, that's a favorite of mine, Vastu, Spiritual Business Management, and the knowledge of spiritual sciences and mythology. She has found an ancient method of Arithmosophy and has discovered a series of proofs that prove the existence of divine intelligence and of the angelic kingdom. It's very exciting. Please welcome Evita Myriam.
Hi, Bob. So
Hi.
good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I'm excited. So thank you so much for coming on. I follow you on Facebook. This is the first time we've actually met in person, and talk, but, I follow your work and I love ancient teachings, ancient wisdoms. And, I know how spiritual of a person you are, through the work, the pranic healing and Arhatic yogi side of things for sure. But, your purpose, like mine, is, helping people to find their purpose, find their light, right? Help them along that spiritual path and that spiritual growth. So how did this all come about for you?
Well, it came about some 12, 14 years ago when I was in a quest to find the right place for me to live. And then at that time, I didn't know actually that I'm a number 5, which means I'm going to move 23 times. I've moved in 23. I know, it's crazy. I love to change cities, countries. I've moved to 23 times, but that's a characteristic of a number 5 life path. So I didn't know it then. So I was on a quest and I came back to Greece from New York and I was island hopping to the Greek islands, looking for the most beautiful place for me that would be ideally, a bit cosmopolitan, a bit reclusive, etc. But I was in a very, very, in a quest to find myself, to know my purpose. So I found this amazing island, which is magical. It was called Tinos. And this is the yin center in Greece. As Delos is the yang center where Apollo was born, Tinos is the yin center. So it has the Mother Mary uh, Annunciation Church. And this is an amazing church. It's a church that the priests have huge trunks, enormous. And everything the energy is immense. So I went there. And
I mean, on the whole island, the energy is just immense with that feminine, divine energy.
The whole island is incredible. It's incredible. The energy is very sacred. And the people there are very kind, loving. It's a safe place. So I went there and I started to experience. That was a beginning. I don't know why. I am so blessed to have had so many miracles happen in my life. It was like a place where I was dipped in magic. And then in all this, what happened was I discovered in a really mysterious way. I don't know if I should tell you about it because it's really strange. But
I like strange. I'm just going to tell you, I like strange. I think my audience likes strange. That's why they tune in. We're very spiritual and, it's experiential, right? So, yeah, feel free to share if you like.
All right, I will, because it's interesting. Because it's, I was thinking about our interview, whether I should, disclose this or not. And then I thought there's so many people who have incredible experiences. And, I read once the book, The Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. And this opened my world. It opened my life. And it was because of the experience of seeing the light, which I had also experienced. So I was, oh my God, there's someone else, who also has experienced that. So this led me to seek, to be an aspirant, to aspire. And then on that island, I found, I used to go to Athens to bookstores and buy books and go back to dinners, and then I just had become a pranic healer, and I would go to Athens once a month for the full moon meditation only, because
Huh.
in full moon, as you know, the energies are more intense, so we bless the earth, etc. So I had gone back, I had bought this book, and in that book, I found uh, inside, I found this method that was just mentioned, like briefly. There was this method about calculating the name of a person. There is a tables of correspondences of the alphabet to each to the numbers. So from 1 to 9, like a very simple thing. So calculating the name, which is the total of the values of the letters, and then reversing it and adding it to the original number. And I had never seen this method before,
Oh,
and it
really?
never.
Wow. That's interesting.
So I calculated with this method, and I calculated my name, to see what my name means, right? And I produced a very 11,000, and that intrigued me, that number. But the truth is that I was really, it's so ridiculous. I was afraid of that method. First, because the book cover had all these symbols that I didn't know. I mean, I was very spiritual, but I didn't know so many things that I learned later as an Arhatic yogi. So it had all these symbols, these many, many symbols, even the swastika, which is an ancient Byzantine symbol. And I was thinking, oh, this is Nazi, this is evil, this is that. I didn't know some of the symbols. So then I put it in the in the trunk of my car and kept it there, because I felt this was not a very good book. I had thousands of books, I was like a bookworm. Then I kept it in my car, but once in a while I would go and look and advise, and see the method. Then I couldn't find it. I was not. Then I thought this book is, since I'm keeping it in the trunk of my car, I don't need it. It doesn't have any other mention of the method. So I put it in the steps of the where I would leave some books for the people in the village where I lived. I lived in a mountain village, beautiful. And I left it there for them to take it. So it was gone. And then I spent 10 years looking for the book, Right. So that I could give credit to my sources. But then I found the book after I had grilled the head of the best bookstore where I had bought this from, which is a spiritual bookstore in Athens. And I grilled her to find me the book, the method. She said, "There's no such method. There's no such book." So in the end, I found the same cover with the same title, and it was. I opened the book, and inside there was the hermetic texts. There was no method, just the hermetic texts,
And what does that
So
mean, the Hermetic text? What's that?
of Hermes Trismegistus, the
Hmm.
text of Hermes. So this is a beauty. These are it's all the texts, all the works of Hermes Trismegistus, who
Okay.
was the ancient teacher of mankind. He was a teacher of Pythagoras. So I found this. This was just there. There was no method in it. That's why I'm telling you it's strange. There was no method. So, but then by that time, in the first year of my stay, I had already found an amazing series of proofs through this method. I used this method and I found amazing stuff, incredible things that about the existence of the angelic kingdom and the name makers in the higher planes who name us, and by our name we may know our purpose and plan. So this became my mission, to help people find their purpose and plan to do that.
Well, is now a good time to pull up the Archangel's proof and walk us through that a little bit?
Oh,
Um,
if you want, yes, I would love to show you. All right.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
let me show you. Okay. So there's a simple tables like A is 1 and B is 2, etc. Right? And then the second 9 letters of the alphabet, again, 1, 2, 3, etc. So by these tables of arithmosophy um, that Pythagoras gave us, we calculate the number of archangel, and that's 10, 13. All right, that's the total of the addition of the letters. Actually, some letters have, like the first row is from 1 to 10, from 1 to 9. The second row of the alphabet is 10 to 90, and the third row is from 100 to 900, the values of the letters. But it's linear, it's simple. So Archangel is 1013, and Gabriel, for example, is 154. So that produces the number 1167. So if you reverse 1167, you get 7611, right? And you
Right.
add it to the original number, you get 8778. So I did this with all the archangels, and they produce palindromes. All the archangels produce numbers that can be read the same way from the back. So this is incredible because it shows origin. And there are two archangels that produce 5-digit numbers. And the in Arithmosophy, the 3-digit numbers are for gods, the 4-digit numbers are for angels, and the 5-digit are for the human kingdom. And there are two numbers. One is for Archangel Sandalphon, and the other is for Archangel Metatron. They produce 5-digit numbers. And Archangel Sandalphon, it is said that before he was an Archangel Sandalphon, at the end of the round of incarnations, he was Prophet Elijah. He was from the human kingdom. Therefore, his 5-digit number proves his origin from the human kingdom. And Archangel Metatron was Prophet Enoch. He wrote the Bible of the angels. So also, again, he was from the human kingdom. And if you think about it, the angels, Gabriel, Michael, Uriel, it ends in L, whereas Sandalphon and Metatron ends in on. And on in Greek means being, human being. So it is amazing. I have found this proof, and I have found many other proofs. Also,
Um, does the number like 8, 7, other than being palindromes, do they have any significance in the numbers? Because there's
well, yeah, in a way, we can analyze it forever. It's like the numbers do mean something. Like 8 is an authority number, and it relates to death as well, and to life after death. It's like the eternity symbol, and Gabriel relates to that as well. It's also the prosperity number. Gabriel relates to that, and 7 is spiritual, and it is a number of spirituality. So yeah, the numbers are significant. Yeah, but what is important here is to find the origin of this. Like,
Mhm.
for example, there is another proof by which every every Greek name, especially, for all Greek names, the exceptions are if you change your name or if you get married, etc. um, Destination of the name of the person and spiritual aspiration of the name of the person produce, which have totally different numbers, because destination is like 940 and spiritual aspiration is 1669. So you add it to the same number, they produce different numbers. You reverse and add, and they produce always the same esoteric, the same final number. That is amazing for every human being. So that proves that there is a plan for us before we are named. And that proves what, excuse me, let me just finish. I know I talk too much. That Pythagoras said there are name makers in the higher planes who name us before we are born.
Oh, I'm totally 100% on board in that. I'm a believer. I have like such an open mind to this kind of thing. But it's time to take a short commercial break. I am your
Okay.
host, Bob Kolazarik, and you're watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming on the Bold Brave TV network. We'll be right back after this.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bob Kozarek, and this is Greetings from the Ashram on the Bold Brave TV network, back with Evita Myriam. Thanks again for being here. So you kind of told us how you found Arithmosophy, and amazing, the alignment of the numbers. So as to the purpose and the plan, how do we divine our purpose using this method?
All right. Although this method actually led me to have proof about the truth of numbers, right? About the value of numbers, because Pythagoras said that you can all truth can be obtained through numbers. Pythagoras was an amazing spiritual guru, and Madame Blavatsky, for example, says that humanity has yet to know what a great spiritual guru he was. And he invented so many things, among them the atomic theory. So many, so many things. Anyway, I don't think we have time to talk about the atomic theory now. That is an amazing subject, and he really, what he was talking about was the quantum physics, not the atoms. So what was divided was not the atom. Anyway, so the purpose and plan can be seen by our name. According to Pythagoras, it can be seen by our name. So the single digit number that is produced by adding the numerals that that correspond to each letter, produces a single digit number that shows our destiny. It's not prefixed, but it shows what we're here to do. Now, the first original method that I talked about was amazing and magical, and I found immense proofs. Like April and May of every year have the same esoteric number. Amazing proofs. All the sacred texts are palindromes. But this led me to believe, not to have proof, to have solid proof, mathematical proof, so I could move on and go to the higher arithmosophy. Because according to Pythagoras, numbers have three levels. Like the main level, the basic level, is the numbers that we use to measure, to count, to weigh things, etc. The second level is the one where numbers have meaning. And they have meaning, and we can see everything about our purpose, our plan. And then the third level is the highest level, the divine level of numbers. Like, what is the truth, divinity of number one? It's like, number one being divine power, for example. or the spirit, and then number two being the divine feminine, all this. But first, we are in the middle, it's the theoretical level, and there you can find everything by the single digits, and each number has its own potencies and qualities, and we can really discover everything. There's so much we can know about about ourselves, not only our purpose. We can know practically everything that we want to know. you know
So how accurate? Well, it sounds from your experience that you had some accuracy, but how accurate can our plan be? And
yeah,
is it
it can be pretty accurate, but the thing is, the interpretation is very important. Um, for example, through Arithmosophy, you can see events. You can see every year the events of the year, but these are potencies, these are qualities. Like this year is going to have, for example, for me, last year uh, had the potency, the number 11, which 11 is also a number two, the single digit. So 11 means that it's a year where you have to learn lessons, and in a way, you have to humble yourself and learn how the needs of others, learn how to relate to others in a more humble and a better way. And this is something that will happen when it's an 11 year. Now, how you respond to that, how easy it is, how light it is, or how difficult it is, this depends upon our response. And the way that this will manifest is personal, individual. We're all unique. It's amazing because there are no two people with the same numbers, because the numbers are many. It's not just our purpose. We have our purpose, we have our life path, our soul's desires. We can know our personality. We can know the cycles of our lives, the positive forces and the challenges, and how to neutralize the challenges of each cycle. We can know every year's events. We can know our personal year. We can know our Pythagoras arrow, which shows our character and what we need to balance in order to be happier, to live a happier life. It takes us straight to who we are. And Lord Joel said that if we want to ever arrive at initiation, and humanity is now moving en masse toward the second initiation, I think, toward the control of emotions, a large part of humanity at least. And we need to know ourselves on all levels. That's what Lord Joel, the Tibetan master, said.
No, I 100% agree. Definitely, in mass, awakening is happening. I talk about it. Like when I had my awakening, I was very young. I was a teenager still. I just kind of like, and that's a really tough time to just go through that kind of ordeal. But back then there was nobody to talk to about it. The community isn't such as it is now. And then like so many young people today are really searching and speaking the language of spirituality. And by the way they're talking that they're making a lot of sense. So they, they're understanding it. So it's really widespread. But what I'm confused is how many numbers do you use to like say, all right, this point in time in my life, is it based on the date, the month, the year? I mean, how does that work to start
Um,
divining your life plan and purpose, and what should I do, what should I not do, when am I going to find the one, that kind of thing.
When I'm going to find the one is when I'm going to be nice to people, when I'm going to be sweet. That's when I'm going to be magnetic, That
True.
really, I mean, I try not to program people, not to tell them these kind of things. I help them heal their lives. You can learn how to strategize. You can learn how to, for example, if you have a business, you can learn so much. You can know, when is the right time to do something, how to strategize in your business, what is the right day to initiate something, what is the right day to take a trip, to move to another country, to sign a contract. You can really know these things with accuracy. And
Yeah,
these are
question for you, because you talk about doing spiritual business management too, and I've studied spiritual business management. I probably need to study it again and again because it always just gets a little bit deeper level every time. So, how does this work in conjunction with like your spirit? I think it just would sounds like it would go hand in hand without knowing the process.
they do. I know many. I mean, I'm interested in many spiritual sciences, and that it's amazing. Spiritual business management shows the cycles, right? The bigger cycles, and
Sure.
then within the cycle, you can have, for example, two people who want to travel together or to open a business together. So you see the right time, the overlap of the right dates, and then with Arithmosophy, you can find the exact date. You can find your personal year, then your personal month, and then your personal day. So you go, if you're going for studies, for example, you go on a day 3, for example, that is a good day for studies, a good, or 5. So you go, you choose the right day. It's very, very important. Today I had one of my clients, I have an amazing example when she asked me, she said, do you have any ideas for my company name? Because her company name is, she loves it, but it wasn't really so great. And I had an idea, and I get intuitive when I have. It's not just numbers. It's not. I get intuition. So suddenly I said to her, "Yes, this name," because I get downloads. So I
No, I
told her
understand. I do understand that. Yes.
I told her the name and I said, let's see what it means in Arithmosophy. So I have an app. So I calculated the name and it was number 44, the number. And 44 is the master therapist and that is her life path number. That is her number, 44. So the name that I gave her for her company was the name for her it was her number. And she couldn't believe it. She said, I can't believe it. An incredible coincidence because master therapist doesn't only mean healing, it means healing the world. So her business is totally aligned to that. And it happened today. I'm so happy when these things happen. They happen all the time. Thank God. It's like there is this flow. When you're the spiritual sciences, they have to be interpreted properly. They have to be, you can't just program people, tell them, well, you will make money that day, you will do that. You have to be a little bit in alignment with your soul when you do that, right?
Yeah. Now, is that just leads me up to you have a course coming up soon, the
Yeah,
Pollux course, right? Is
yeah,
this where you teach and strategize this kind of? Can we
yeah.
put that up on the screen? So yeah, so you have this coming up on February 20th. Tell us about this.
All right, this is my program. This is the program that in which I have combined everything, I have condensed everything, and it's a program of 7 workshops. And each workshop is divided into the half of it's 2-hour workshops. So the first hour is about finding your arithmosophy, like your life path, your soul, etc. Then your Pythagoras arrows, your character, your timetable of events, everything you need to know, your soul's mission, your labor of Hercules, your sacred geography, where the cities and countries where your mission will bloom and your life will change in a positive way. So half of the workshop is about knowing very, very deeply everything about ourselves. And the other half,
All right, let me
uh,
just interrupt you one quick second because for people listening on the radio, you can find this at
yeah,
evitamyriam.com/products/pollux, Pollux.
and
So that's February 24th. But yeah, I just wanted people on the
yeah, and
radio to hear that.
Miriam, you spell with a Y, the Miriam, so they can find it. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
Myriam. Thank you.
thank you. So yeah, half of the session, half of the workshop is about knowing oneself, and people are really in awe at the discoveries they make about themselves, and everything connects, everything clicks, everything resonates. And then the other half, we do energy techniques. I guide them to remove all inner obstacles through energy techniques. and it's a huge load coming off them. They clean their aura. It's like healing, total healing, psychotherapy. And then after that, we do a visualization by which we reprogram ourselves, because what it does, all the false goals just get out of the way, because society, our family, our friends, movies that we have seen, and we have these superheroes, and have programmed us, and these are all goals that are not ours. There is a
Yeah,
goal, there is a purpose of our soul, and our soul will only, finance, will only help our real purpose.
I agree 100%. But it is time to take another short commercial break. I am your host, Bob Kolazarek, and this is Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We'll be right back.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality? But it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating. Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant. Like, I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Bob Kolazarek, and this is Greetings from the Ashram, streaming on the Bold Brave TV network. We're back with Evita Myriam. Thank you for the education thus far. There's a lot to unpack with this. I know, and we're just really scratching the surface. So I understand you have an example, a real life example.
I do. Actually, I have your example. I have done your Arithmosophy, which is actually, it's fantastic. I was a bit nervous, like, is it really going to be resonating to him? But because sometimes some people, they are very, and not everybody is very receptive. Some people are very skeptic. And actually, I will start with your Pythagoras arrow. I will start with the only negative thing that you have, which is not negative. Yeah, it's not really negative, but it is, look, your Pythagoras arrow is that you're a skeptic. So that's amazing, because being a skeptic, being who you are, that I will tell you it's fantastic, your Arithmosophy. But being a skeptic means this is why you're seeking answers. This is why you're a spiritual person. I was also from a very young age. Of course, I described only the Arithmosophy years tonight, but and I understand you're seeking answers in the same way that some masters, they are chemical engineers. Many masters come from engineering, because they become engineers because they want to know how the world works. And
My
then
background is in engineering, by the way.
who is
My background is in engineering.
really? You see? Yeah. So you want to know how the world works. And there's this inner conflict, On one hand, there's skepticism, but skepticism helps people seek answers because you want proof. You don't accept everything, just because someone said so, right?
We have to use our own discernment, right, as
Yeah.
we learn. Yeah.
All right, let me tell you about the rest. I have it in writing, right? So your life path is 3, which is the number of the charismatic, perfect host, right? I mean, it really suits you. So it is talented. You're talented. You write a lot. You speak a lot. You're a peacemaker. I don't have to read this, but I'm just in case I would be nervous. I wrote a few things down, but I really don't need them. I know my numbers. But your 3 comes from 30, and 30 also means, according to the Tibetan master, it means the completion of the personality. So the personality is something that we complete in an incarnation in order to place it in the service of the soul. So your 3 comes from 30. So your life path is to complete your personality and to make it, a fully mature and individualized, to be individualized soul. So then, uh, your soul proclivities, your soul tendencies is 2, but it also comes from 11. So 2 is passive, is cooperative, is sweet, and is good at working with others. But 11 is a spiritual leader, right? And 11 is someone who, tends toward spirituality and tends toward music. Perhaps you like music a lot, right? And
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
you
do.
like
I do. Yeah.
and 11 is a kind of person who has big ideas, big huge ideas, and it does have some frustration in there because people don't understand these big ideas. They're like they have smaller ideas, and they go slowly, and 11 doesn't can't
I
wait.
know I'm really, really having to focus on learning patience. Just let's go. We gotta go. I mean, I talk about that with a friend of mine. It's like I'm just being taught patience right now, really. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, because right, so that means you do have this, but you have spiritual flame, you do have that. And your personality number is 4, which is very reliable. And 4 is reliability itself, and it's you know uh, to your personality, your home is your heaven. You love your home, and I don't know if you have a family, but the family is everything, and the home is everything. And they're hardworking people. Force They have to be careful not to look down on their co-workers, because then they lose what they have built. Force can do a lot, really can go very high. And your destiny, which is what you're here to do, it is number 6. Now 6 is the manifestation of the spiritual energies, is the manifester. 6, all right? So 6 is the nurturer, the one who nurtures the others, who takes care of them. I don't know if you like to cook, if you're to cook for others or to take care of others. 6 is a very good number for a healer, for someone who cares for others, and someone who advises others, like a life coach, someone who is counseling them.
Well,
Yes.
I am a healer and I am a life coach, and I do have this show, which is a manifestation of my soul purpose, along with my work with the American Pranic Healing Association, which is to promote pranic healing. So my business and my this show and the association work, which is service, is pretty much all in alignment with the soul work, which I think maybe takes me back to the 30.
Yeah, yes, but you're also incredibly intuitive. 6 is very intuitive,
So
incredibly.
yes, that is true. Yes.
And you have to work from joy and be a freelance, work at home. You can't work in a tight schedule that other people make for you. You have to have your own schedule, and you have to work from joy. If you're not happy on a day, don't do it. something else. But you shouldn't work from, you shouldn't force yourself. It's very hard for you to work forced, right?
It's true. I have to be in the present, and if the energy feels off, I have to shut it down, go do something else. You have to be in the right state, And what I found just intuitively, when you're in the present time and you have your focused intention, and you get a block, you just go do something else. And the answer will come pretty quickly. I'm like, oh, I need to do this next, or I need to call this person. So yeah, it's a very intuitive way to work, and it's I think more efficient than sitting there like trying to hit the same wall and get stuck thinking for any length of time. So yeah, I
Also, do
resonate
you
with.
know how intuition on number six is so strong that the way it works is like this? For example, one day you may be going out, and you're saying, "Oh, I'm going to have a good time. I'm meeting my friends, and I'm going out." And then suddenly suddenly the energy drops, as if someone pulled the rug under your feet, and you feel that, oh. And this a person may think, I'm not going to have a good time. I know it. It's just not going to work out. It's not your fault. It's your intuition telling you that something will happen. Someone will be in a bad mood. Something will happen that is going to not work out so well. It's not so your intuition works through the way you feel, you know?
100%. That's the way I run my life. That's the way I interact with the world these days. It's just, how's the energy, like from this person to me, if it's like not feeling good, I'll just be nice and cordial and move along. And conversely, if you're just vibing with somebody, you got that energy connection. Everybody knows when they're vibing with somebody. But yeah, just group energy, it all impacts me. It's ever prevalent. It's always there.
Shall I tell you your life cycles? Do we have time
Yeah, I
in
think
your
we have
life
a little
cycle?
time. Yeah.
All right. So from birth until 33 years old, all right? Oh, and your attainment number, like after 45, you became more a nine. Nine is more humanitarian, right? That's your
After,
maturity number. So it's more
yeah,
humanitarian
just
is the
we got
one.
about 3 to 4 minutes left. So
All right. Okay. So humanitarian, the one who gets burdened all the time by helping others. So you have to learn how to take care of yourself first. And then,
that was big in my astrology chart, by the way. That was highlighted to me. Yeah.
okay, so from birth until 33, you were one, which is like innovative and but perfectionist and not knowing how to work with others. You want to do everything yourself, very, very energetic, very, you know. But then you had to cultivate all your life. You have to cultivate your six, your intuition. That's all you have to do. And to learn how to not get upset because number six also gets sometimes, you have
Yeah,
to.
that was recent. I don't get upset as much as I used to, but that was a big growth step. Yeah.
So you see, for every soul, it's different because, for example, you're an evolved soul, and for you, numbers mean something else. Not for everyone, it's the same. Then from 34 to 42, perhaps it's number four. You worked a lot, you built a
Right.
lot. Perhaps you got married. I don't know what happened in that period of your life. It was a period of stability for you. All right. But then was a period until 42 when whatever you wanted, you could shape your life. You had a big opportunity to make your life whatever you wanted it to be. And then from 43 to 51, you traveled more and you had many changes and a lot of experience. And then from 52 until the end of incarnation, your number one is up, which it means you're a good leader, now a wiser leader, not a perfectionist. I hope now you can say it's good enough and move on. And
Yeah,
you can
100% good enough to move on. That's my outlook for like the show. It's like I can't be perfect. I'm going to stumble and fumble. It's all you do. I am who I am, and good, bad, or indifferent.
and to delegate because number nine is burden, so you need to delegate to others. You can't do everything yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. And you have amazing years coming up, but since we don't have so much time, you're 25 and after is going to be really amazing.
All right. Yeah, we're just about out of time, but we do have a shot of your website cover page. So if people want to get back to you, they can go to your. Can we pull that up? Do we have that?
Thank you,
It's
Bob.
no, that's not that one. That was mine. Yeah, there you go. Evita Myriam, myriam.com.
And
So follow.
there's an early bird for Pollux until February 12th, which is a huge discount. I'm giving a huge discount for people who really want to take it.
Yeah, I
But
would highly recommend it. You were spot on. I could tell you 100% spot on with just about everything you said, if not everything. So definitely awesome. Highly recommend people go. So check out your program.
thank you
And
so
thank you so much for being here so much. So it's time to take
much.
another break. I'm Bob Kozarek. This is Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. I'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back. I'm Bob Kozarek, and you're watching Greetings from the Ashram on the Bold Brave TV network. I really want to thank Evita again for coming on to the show with me. Her understanding and passion for Arithmosophy is certainly contagious, and I am absolutely blown away by the reading that she did on me, or my Arithmosophy. It was spot on. It was just really spot on. And, the thing that makes me open and receptive, I'm really open to learning what I can about anything that has been around for thousands of years. I mean, if it's the test of time, let's just keep an open mind to it. We can learn so much more about ourselves. And I'm definitely going to see what I can learn more about it. When it blends in with the spiritual business management, that's just really powerful stuff. And I look at it this way too. I was never a big believer in astrology, but I did take a couple of esoteric astrology courses with Master Glenn. And again, I was blown away by the accuracy of that chart. And if I had the chart when I was younger, I probably wouldn't appreciate it as much as I do today, because it makes more sense for me today. I've got a lot more miles behind me than I do in front of me, so I've lived a good part of my life. Many things have already unfolded for me, so the chart makes sense. So the lesson for the younger people out there is just keep an open mind. Again, use your own discernment. She was talking about me being a skeptic. I want to prove things to myself. Master Choa teaches us, don't just listen to what I have to say, experience it, prove it out to yourself. That's wholly important. It's really critical to do that. And I'm also Sagittarius rising, who's somebody that also wants to just like acquire wisdom. So one of the astrologers that I had on a previous show said something about your rising sign and your birth chart, your natal chart is just the energy of the cosmos at that snapshot in time when you were born. And that just really resonated with me too, because we're just energy beings. We're part of the cosmos. So that energy of the cosmos at that point in time, I don't know, it just makes sense. And it is really accurate. And it's really cool when you open up and just kind of see it for what it is. It's just beautiful, and it is a guide and a tool to use in life. So anyway, can't say enough about that. Next week, I'm going to have a friend from the ashram from Bovina on the show with me. His name is Dan Schmutz. Dan is a vice president and chief environmental scientist, a very sharp guy, very cool guy. He's also a practitioner of Arhatic yoga, and he's interested in other healing modalities. But we were talking the last time I saw him before the launch of the show, and we were in Bovina at the ashram for Kriya Shakti weekend at the beginning of October, and we were talking and hanging out in the ashram for like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, just telling stories. So I asked him to come on the show at some point, so he will be with me next week. Really kind of, talking about spiritual business management and the tools that we use with the energy and everything. I want to talk to him about how he blends that spiritual world into his work as a scientist. I mean, I think about Einstein and Nikola Tesla. They always talked about tapping into something where they got their genius from. So it's definitely there. More people are more tuned and aware of it. I just curious how Dan does it. So I hope you subscribe and follow the show so you don't miss it. And finally, please follow me on my social media accounts. I'm always promoting other people, and I don't ever promote myself. So I have my links, my Facebook at Self-Help Coaching LLC, Instagram at Self-Help Coaching, and LinkedIn at Self-Help-Coaching-LLC. Between the American Pranic Healing Association and the show, I promote everybody else, not necessarily myself so much for my business, but please follow me. I would appreciate that. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to email me at greetingsfromtheashram@gmail.com. I appreciate your comments, suggestions, or, whatever you like to say. So that's it for me. Y'all have a great weekend. Until next week, I'm Bob Kolazaric, and you've been watching Greetings from the Ashram, streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Namaste, everyone.
This has been Greetings from the Ashram with host Bob Kolazaric. Through meaningful conversations and practical insights, this show invites you to explore the endless possibilities for personal growth, healing, and spiritual awakening. Tune in each week to discover how these practices can bring balance and harmony to your life, making it a true journey of self-discovery. Fridays, 7 p.m. on the Bold Brave TV network.